How's everyone doing? Today I have an awesome-tastic mail day with a bunch of goodies, and if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And first up, I've got a Funko Pop of Wolverine, and I'm not that big into Funkos. There's a few that I really like, but I'm really picky when it comes to them because they put out so many, and I'm not a big fan of all the ones that they put out. There's some people who are huge Funko Pop collectors. Kind of blew up the past few years, but this one I had to get because A, I love Wolverine. I was big into the comics growing up, but this one was also signed by the co-creator Wein right there. He co-created Wolverine and a bunch of the new X-Men, including Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, and he also co-created Swamp Thing and a few other great characters out there. So I thought this was awesome, and I'm also a big fan of getting these Funko Pops signed on the actual figure themselves and displaying them outside the box. I see 99.9% of the time when people get the Funko Pop signed, it's signed on the plexiglass window right there, which I hate that. I don't know, I don't like that, and I like displaying my figures too, so I was really souped to get that. Legendary writer right there, and great creator of so many different characters. And I think that's an awesome looking Wolverine Funko Pop too. So I'll be happy to display that. And then next up, I got another awesome signed Blu-ray this time, but signed goodie. There's a store in California called Delicacies. They do a lot of in-store signings. And sometimes if you're not in the location, they can still get you something signed. And I've dealt with them for years now, so they've hooked me up before. And then I actually ordered this after this, or actually emailed them after the signing, and they said they had like one left, and they would put it aside for me. So that was pretty awesome. They threw in some stickers right here. Here's a sticker promotion for The Hills Have Eyes 2, which I'm actually a big fan of, the recent Hills Have Eyes 2. I know most people hate that one. That's one of those, I'm going to do a video about movies that I love that people hate, especially horror. But it had fantastic gore effects in there and unique creature characteristics too. The acting was shaky in the beginning, but once they get to the hills, it settles down. And then here's a promo for High Tension, which I think this is actually a sticker. Maybe like a decal. I actually really enjoy this one. Great French Extreme movie, but I thought the ending was a cop-out. But still overall an excellent film. Next up is, this is the main thing right here, Tales from the Hood. They were doing an in-store signing, and they didn't announce, I guess, all the people. Sometimes they'll put some of the people there, and then they'll put others to be announced. And that's what they did with this one, and here it is. I love the old school artwork. I do like this one, but it's a little bit jumbled in my opinion. This is the newly commissioned artwork. And one of the ones that they didn't announce that was going to be there was, here's the whole cast list of everybody who was there. But Corbin Burnson was the one, like the main one that they didn't announce initially. But Edward Chiodo, you've got Paula Jai Parker, Anthony Griffith, and Rusty Cundiff, who was the writer, director, and also played the character of Richard. Edward Chiodo, of course, of the Chiodo brothers, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, done tons of different effects. But signed up on some of the back as well. There's the fronts. Absolutely love this movie, and a bunch of special features in here. I'm looking forward to revisiting this on Blu-ray. I had the DVD forever, the old snapper case DVD. And actually, hold on a minute, hold on. I was able to get the Laserdisc signed up by David Alan Grier. I saw him perform stand-up comedy at my local comedy club, The Stress Factory, and he signed up the Laserdisc right there, which I love the Laserdisc because it has like the reflective glasses right there, which is super cool, and a really clean, beautiful signature from David Alan Grier, which was one of my favorite segments. Corbin Burnson's and then David Alan Grier segments were my favorites of Tales from the Hood, which is a great urban horror anthology movie. But I really enjoy that film. And a lot of times you can send stuff in to Dark Delicacies and they'll get it signed. Sometimes they do charge depending on the people. It's not them that charges, but it's the people themselves. I opted not to get this one signed because I wasn't sure about shipping it, and I don't know. I'm always worried that something will happen. So I didn't opt to do it that time. But I'm very happy to get Tales from the Hood on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. It's nice that they're releasing some movies that haven't had Blu-ray releases before on Blu-ray, because I feel like lately they're just re-releasing tons of movies that we've seen have Blu-ray releases before. But next up, I got, I think it's 7 movies in here. I actually kind of forgot what I ordered from Blu-Ray Hoarder, which is now, I think he changed his name on here. He's known as the House of Blues, which I love. That makes me think of the House of Blues, music institution essentially. But Blu-Ray Hoarder, he's been on here for years. I don't think he's really makes any videos anymore. I think he might still do some live streams. But this package had me so worried. I think it took almost a month. He's in Hawaii, so I was thinking it might take a little bit longer. But he said like everybody else got theirs pretty quickly. And then I looked up online the tracking for it. They said there was some kind of error. And then later it said there was like a package exception, which I had never seen before in all my years. But it finally came. It arrived. The outer package was beat up, but thankfully he put lots of bubble wrap on there. So good job, sir. But let's go ahead and open these bad boys up. I know there's like 1 or 2 that I remember, but then the rest, because it was a while ago, I kind of forgot what I ordered. But yes, your bubble wrap saved it because the outer package looked like it was went through a trash compactor. First up is Enough Said, which I really enjoyed this one. James Gandolfini went to Rutgers Mason Gross acting school, and I remember him going to like homecoming over here, and he would, I remember one time he parked the car in front of the bar, and like this old guy ended up crashing into his car, but a really good actor, very sad that he passed away, and I really liked this movie overall. I really enjoyed Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was great in Seinfeld, of course, as Elaine. Iconic character, but Veep, she's been great in so many different roles. But this one is just basically an emotionally honest movie about an older couple. They're both divorced, and they're getting out in the dating world again, and they both have kids who are going off to college. And it's basically she's a masseuse, and she meets him at a party, and then she meets his ex-wife at a party, and she doesn't realize it's the ex-wife, and she starts giving massages to the ex-wife, and all the ex-wife does is complain about the ex-husband, which is him, and just kind of goes into it from there. But really enjoy the heck out of this one. I love movies that have emotional honesty, even if they're a bit depressing. This does have a lot of depressing moments, but it ends on a kind of a uplifting note, if you will, and enjoy the heck out of it. Happy to add that one to the collection. Next up is Out of the Furnace, which I absolutely freaking love this movie, and I can't believe I waited so long to pick this up on Blu-ray. Great cast in here: Christian Bale, Woody Harrelson, Casey Affleck, Forest Whitaker, Willem Dafoe, Zoe Saldana, who is so freaking amazingly stunning, Sam Shepard. But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember Woody Harrelson is like this, I don't know, kind of like a gangster kind of guy, and he has like this underground boxing ring, which Casey Affleck fights, and he was supposed to take a dive, but he doesn't take a dive, and he's the brother of Christian Bale, and Christian Bale kind of has to bail him out, get him away from Woody Harrelson, essentially. But he has some dangerous, gritty aspects of the underworld. I think Pittsburgh was part of the filming location, and then I guess they go into more rural area as well, and the police get involved. But love the heck out of this movie. Can't wait to revisit this one. Next up is Blue Jasmine. This is definitely a depressing movie, but oh my gosh. It's written and directed by Woody Allen. Cate Blanchett's performance in here was incredible. Just one of the best performances I've seen in a while. Great supporting cast here too. Alec Baldwin, Louis C.K., Bobby Cannavale, Andrew Dice Clay, Sally Hawkins, Peter Sarsgaard. Yeah, list goes on in here. Tremendous supporting cast. It's basically about her, she's kind of like depressed and a little bit of kind of crazy. She just starts talking to herself and just doesn't really know how to deal with society. She was used to being, part of the 1% essentially, and I believe the husband cheats on her, and she kind of has to go live with, I think was it her sister or her friend? It's been a long time. I can't remember if it's the sister or the friend. But she basically has to start her life over. She's staying with her, and it's just like completely like a fish out of water because the other characters kind of, I guess middle class, lower middle class kind of, but really enjoyable and, well, not enjoyable, it's depressing, but a really well-crafted film and tremendous performance from Cate Blanchett. Next up is Stoker, which is directed by Park Chan-wook, who of course did Oldboy. I have not seen this one. I've heard some really good things about it. Mia Wasikowska is really good. Nicole Kidman. I'm not a big fan necessarily of her. And then Matthew Good. And basically, I guess the father passes away, and then he moves in, and he's like an uncle, but something's weird is going on there. And I don't know. I heard it's horror-esque, but not horror-esque. So I'm not sure about it, but I've heard good things, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next up is the next bundled wrap right here. Yes, it was 7 titles. Next up is Angel Heart. I remember selling the DVD of this that I had ages ago, and I kind of wish I held on to the DVD because it had a special feature on here that's not on the Blu-ray. It was talking about like voodoo and stuff, and I thought that was a really intriguing special feature on the DVD. But absolutely love this one. Robert De Niro essentially plays the devil, and I like his character, his name in here. I can't remember it right now, but it was like, you know, if you change the words around or something like that, it was like the devil. But Mickey Rourke was really good. Lisa Bonet, friggin' stunning in here. Always stunning, but stunning especially in here too. I think this was shot in Louisiana, yeah, New Orleans. So you have that kind of that feel to it, which really kind of adds to especially the voodoo aspect and things like that. But really enjoyed the heck out of this one, and looking forward to revisiting it as well. Next up is a sealed one, The Cutting Edge, which this one was a kind of like a cheesy rom-com that I remember really enjoying when I was growing up, and has Maura Kelly and D.B. Sweeney as the unlikely couple. They're going to pair together to kind of, I guess, try to compete for the Olympics. And he was like a hockey skater, and she was like a, you know, traditional skater. And they don't get along at all. They clash instantly, but you know, obviously it's a little bit formulaic, but great cast chemistry here. That's what really drove this one. And this one had a few other, I want to say there's some other recognizable, Terry O'Quinn is in here, but a few other recognizable people too in the supporting cast. But excited for that one too. That's a lot of nostalgia for me. Next up is Everything Must Go with Will Ferrell. I really enjoyed the heck out of this one, and I love depressing movies, and I especially like Will Ferrell when he does more dramatic roles or dark comedy roles. My favorite Will Ferrell movie and one of my all-time favorite comedies is Stranger Than Fiction, a really good dark comedy that I would highly recommend. Not his typical slapstick, ridiculous comedy that I'm generally not a big fan of. There's a couple ones here and there. I do like Talladega Nights, but most of his other stuff I just think is garbage. I know everybody loves Step Brothers. I freaking hate that movie. The only reason I keep that movie in my collection is because every girl I've ever known loves that movie. So I always put it on for, like, you know, a movie night essentially. But this one right here is basically a guy going through a breakup of his marriage. He's an alcoholic, and he gets fired from his job as well. And he's just kind of dealing with life. All his stuff is out on the lawn, and he decides to have a yard sale, and he befriends a local kid in the neighborhood whose mother, I think, is a housekeeper for one of the neighbors. And he can't get into the house because she changed the locks, and his car gets repossessed. So he's just sleeping out on his lawn in his like Easy Boy recliner, and all of his stuff out there. And it's definitely a good dark comedy kind of movie, but kind of has an uplifting aspect to it as well. But overall, kind of depressing. But I love the heck out of it. Good supporting cast here too. You've got Michael Pena, Rebecca Hall, a few other people, but overall this one was one I would definitely recommend. Will Ferrell did a great job in this role, and again, he should do way more roles like this. And I know people love him for his ridiculous slapstick kind of comedies, but yeah, when he does the dramatic or darker comedy roles, he really shines. I feel the same way about certain actors like Jim Carrey. He can do dramatic performances like The Truman Show, Majestic, and he can do even darker roles. 23, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie overall, but I did like his performance. So he can do those kind of roles too, and I like when certain actors are able to step outside of their, you know, general comedy kind of roles. Steve Carell is another one. Dan in Real Life was a good example, but he's done some good stuff too. But yeah, this one was a good depressing movie that I enjoy. I love depressing movies, if they're done right, that is. Next up, from Reject Films, is I was talking to him, been talking to him on here a bunch. He helped me out again with the Thing poster over there, getting 2 signatures on there, which I really appreciate. Can't say thank you enough for that. But he said he had a bunch of slipcovers and asked if I needed any, and I said yes, especially monster trucks, which I recently got. And I'm not even sure if I've shown that in an update yet. I think I have shown an update. I have watched it. I think I did a mail day for it, but I'm going to do another video talking about it a little bit more in depth. But my one didn't come with the slipcover. So inside, monster truck wall decals. In fact, I didn't get any wall decals in there either, I don't think. I need to double check that, but I don't recall any wall decals. But so nice to have the slipcover for this. This is actually a really nice slipcover, a very nice embossing right there. And I thought this one was just a really fun, entertaining movie, and a good cast in here too. Rob Lowe, Barry Pepper, a few other people that really did well. I like the supporting cast in here a lot. But yeah, very good, entertaining, family-friendly kind of movie. Next up, he had the slipcovers for the Scream Factory releases of Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. And very excited for these. Again, this is another example of Scream Factory releasing movies that have already had Blu-ray releases. I have Jeepers Creepers 1 over here, the previous release right here, in fact, signed up by a bunch of people involved with the film. And one of my all-time favorite horror movies, one of the best American horror movies, at least of the past couple decades in my opinion. And I was able to get this one signed up at Dark Delicacies. And yeah, here's the little paper slip they always include. This is from 2012. I actually did a video when I got this, had like an unboxing video. So yeah, but this is one that, again, that Scream Factory does a lot of that, where, you know, it's been released already, but they keep re-releasing it, and people will buy it up because we're horror fans. Horror fans, they drive the market, collectability. I mean, how many releases of Halloween, Evil Dead have there been, and we always buy them all. Dawn of the Dead, all the, you know, Dead trilogy. But yeah, very excited to get the slip covers for these now, for all these ones, so thank you very much. Definitely check out Reject Films and House of Blues, although he really hasn't been too active lately. Still check out his channel. He was definitely a huge part in creating the BlueTube community. I don't necessarily like that term, the BlueTube community. I just like to say the movie community, because I feel like oftentimes the horror community and the BlueTube community are two separate entities, but we're really all the same. We're here for talking about movies and the love of movies, even if it's different genres. I think people who aren't necessarily horror fans will still like some horror movies, and people who are horror fans still like other movies outside of the genres. You know, even Disney movies. You know, I love Pinocchio. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, you know, stuff that outside of the genre that maybe some people might not think of. But yeah, so the movie community on here. But yeah, there is, you know, people who refer to themselves part of the BlueTube community, and Blu-ray Hoarder was definitely one of the pioneers of that. So big ups to Reject Films, House of Blues, for the hookups right there. I appreciate the slipcovers and the good deal on the Blu-rays. So definitely check out their channel. I put links down below to both Reject Films and House of Blues. And hopefully House of Blues will make more videos coming up soon. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which was your favorite item out of all of these. And if you've seen the movies, let me know what you think of them as well. And I'm really looking forward to, speaking of Jeepers Creepers 3, they've been talking about that for forever, it seems like. I think they dropped the name Cathedral off there, though. But I can't wait for that. Can't wait to see the Creeper. I think the Creeper is an all-time classic horror icon monster, and he definitely deserves a proper franchise. And the first two films did really well. I mean, the first one is by far, in a way, my favorite. I do enjoy the second one. It adds a little bit more to the backstory, but the first one right here is a classic for me. So, souped. Looking forward to Jeepers Creepers 3. And again, hope everybody's doing well. Take care.